All right, Joe, we're back for another video here. I actually have a trade idea. We're going to explain the thesis behind it first here. So the ticker is going to be Sony, Sony. And if you watched our meme stock video, you kind of already know what this is about. But for those that haven't caught that video, Joe, you want to break down what we think is going on here with Sony and what this trade thesis is?
Well, lately, and starting last week or a little bit before that, there was the company came out and said that they were going to start removing certain videos from PlayStation users' libraries because they
And these are
don't have
videos that they paid for.
that they paid for. Yes,
Right.
exactly. Not getting a refund, but they just lost the license to have those, so they're taking them off their library. That already started the backlash, and then they proceeded to continue to come out, the company, and say that they're no longer going to be having physical discs made for their next generation PlayStation, their PlayStation 6, which is supposed to come out in 2027 or 28. No guaranteed or no confirmed release date yet. But then they also were raising the prices on the PlayStation Network. And then in the final bit that really set their gaming community over the edge was that they just weren't going to listen to gamers' calls for them to go back to physical media. They were just going to do what they wanted to and not listen to them. And they expect that their gaming community will just deal with it anyway.
Now,
I don't think that was a great
really
idea.
quickly, you and I both come from the gaming community. You and
Oh yeah.
I both know that that is complete nonsense. Gamers will absolutely revolt on this.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but just wanted to make that clear. That's not a good choice.
No, it gets me a little bit upset too because we come from a time where we would go and buy a game, put it in the console, and fire it right up, and you were playing. No downloads, no subscriptions to sign up for, nothing. We just played that. That was the golden years, and now everything's going digital to where you might not even own the thing that you buy anymore. So that has really rubbed gamers the wrong way, and there's been a lot of polls lately that have shown that even when a PlayStation 6 does come out, that very few are interested in buying it for a number of reasons, and one is being cost. We've already seen the rise in prices for the Nintendo Switch due to memory prices rising. That's going to be no different for Microsoft's Xbox and Sony's PlayStation. And the final thing is that a lot of Sony PlayStation 5 users are really happy with their console. They're not interested in upgrading yet. They may wait until the PlayStation 7, which could take even more years, and 4 to 6. So there may not be a very big appetite for the next console.
And the thing is especially if the console have a much larger price because of the memory thing, and if you view that the memory price increase is temporary, and you're happy with the PS5, maybe the PS6 is one to skip.
Yeah.
One of the other things that's going on here that's very interesting about Sony, and this is kind of where the trade idea comes from, we've actually seen some insider selling recently. Now, I want to cover a little bit of this just so you are all aware of what's going on here. Ravi and Jonathan, two of the insiders there, they sold recently as part of a plan, right? So they had a predetermined stock plan, and the sells that those two made were a part of that. So perhaps you can't necessarily draw too much from that. But the CEO, Totoki, he sold over 50% of his stock holdings. Now, Joe, just going back to what you were just talking about a second ago about Sony thinking, the gamers are just going to do what they're going to fall in line, frankly, right? They're going to accept all digital content. They're going to not care about this. Sony doesn't necessarily want to listen to their customers, which you and I both know is a huge problem here. Well, if they actually believe that, then why on earth is the CEO selling more than half of his position? And I think that's kind of where the rubber meets the road here. So the way I look at this is pretty simple. You got two choices. If you believe the Sony management and you think this is much ado about nothing, you probably have a potential buying spot here, as it does look like the stock has kind of carved out a triple bottom here around 19. Maybe you want to call that 19 or 20. But if you think that there are problems ahead, and it sounds like both you and I are kind of in the same thing here, this might be a potential short setup, especially if we get a pop back towards the 500-day moving average. Got that at about 23. You have anything else that you want to cover here on Sony?
Yeah, I mean the timing of those the CEO selling was very notable.
Yes, it was.
Selling here at this price when it was significantly lower than the price it was during the highs last year when it was closer to 30, kind of tells you that they don't have a strong vote of confidence in the stock price staying much higher as a result of this backlash. So that's the signal to me. They could have made this sale, when they could have made more money, but to sell now on July 3rd when the U.S. markets were closed, so that wouldn't be as noticeable of a reaction. I think that says a lot.
Yeah, I think that's as we say, feels a bit shady there. So I'd like to get your opinion here on Sony, even if you don't necessarily want to take this as a trade. Let us know what you think about what's going on right now. Are you upset about no more physical things or for physical media, like a CD or a disc for the game that you purchased? Are you worried about content that you've purchased that is no longer available? You effectively rented it, you didn't own it. Do any of those things bother you? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about that. This is something that we're definitely going to be watching, even if the trade comes and goes. This theme here likely to have tentacles into other things too. Watch for Grand Theft Auto 6, which is supposed to come out later this year. Of course, Take-Two, the parent company there. There's a lot of little tentacles from this, and I think this is one that we should absolutely keep our eye on. Good breakdown, Joe. Appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one.